Hi beautiful people, this is Serena. Welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we'll be working with the energy of animals. And this is the book that I will be working with. In English, it's like Medicine Cards, The Discovery of Power Through the Ways of the Animals by James Sons. And as you've already noticed, I'm not a native speaker. I'm Brazilian, and I'll be uh, talking with you guys with my English, which might have some accent. So I apologize for that. But still, I'm really excited for this reading. We have 3 piles. The first one is hematite. The second group is amethyst. And the third group is bronzite. I'll give you some time to choose your pile, and then I'll be posting like the timestamps and the links on the description down below. I'm doing these readings with my cell phone, so it might run low of battery at some point, or the memory card may be full. So I apologize in advance if I have to stop the video and like do several videos for one reading, but I'm really excited to share this reading with you. And with further ado, let's go to the piles. Hi group number 1, if you chose hematite, this is your reading. We're going to do the Wheel of Healing. It's a type of spread that is on the book. And first you got the Buffalo card on the East position. The East position talks about like the major theme of your life right now, like what your soul wants to learn. Right now it talks about like the learning process, the kind of like difficulties, what you need to learn right now, what your soul wants to grow in which direction. So the animal in this position talks about that, and the buffalo, it's a very sacred animal. Including on the book, it says like the white buffalo is the most sacred of all animals because it represents like that all promises, all prayers have been heard, and like everybody is like fulfilled, every single being. So it's a very powerful card. I'm having goosebumps, so it's really important. But this card talks about the importance of prayer and gratitude so that you can have abundance. Because through prayer and gratitude, you can have this abundance. And the buffalo is a really amazing animal because it talks about learning how to honor our relationships as sacred. So when you have this type of conscience, to respect other people in just like such a deeper level, then like you have this connection with spirit that's really, really sacred. And you start like honoring all people, all beings, all ways of life as sacred. Because if you look like in a deeper perspective, in a higher perspective, you kind of learn that everybody in their own way, they are trying to find their ways in life. And if you believe like in a higher consciousness we are all living like different paths, different lives, different bodies, different perspectives, but we are all going to the same place. Everybody's trying to find like the god, the goddess within, trying to find this sense of home, this sense of belonging, this sense of dissolving all the suffering. So the Buffalo cards talks about like for this pie is very important to connect with more this I don't know spiritual side, to do prayer, to do meditation, to remember to say thanks for the things that you have. And this is really important for this pie right now. Now we go to the west position that you have the hummingbird. And I really like this combination because like the east talks about the learning process, uh, the challenges and where your soul wants to grow. And then like the hummingbird, it says about how do you face these challenges. And I see for this group that you have the hummingbird, and it's such a sweet creature. Even the word of this, the key word for this card is like joy, happiness, and uh, this little bird is really amazing and different, and has all this like rainbow colors in its feathers, and it can like waken the best in every single being. Because they say like the hummingbirds, they sing on a frequency that only the flowers, no, not only the flowers, like they sing in a frequency that the flowers open up to the hummingbird, because like the flowers know that it will help you with the pollen. And so when the hummingbird sings in a frequency that is inaudible for human beings, the but the flowers kind of listen and open up to the hummingbird. And this talks of this capacity of bringing the best in every single being that you guys will be having right now when you'll be listening to this reading. So you'll be like your very presence in a place will be like waking up the best part, the best side of every person, of every animal, of every situation. It's like having you around will be like a gift for the people who have you around, you know. And it's really beautiful because it talks about like art, happiness, like all the beautiful things in life, because they say that the hummingbird is like a hunter of beautiful things. It goes where the joy is, where the beauty is. And that will be you this time around. It's really, really beautiful. It talks about opening up your heart and feeling this joy. It's a really like heart chakra opening. I think this would be like third eye chakra opening, and this would be like fourth chakra, heart chakra opening. It's really amazing, and it's interesting in your reading because maybe you are hearing this and you're like, I doubt about it, because you have like the snake and the bat, that it's interesting because they are animals, at my point of view, that talk more about our shadow side. And um and I think you guys of this reading, you've been really working to change like your bad habits, your uh, bad thinking process, negative thinking process, addictions, all sorts of toxic patterns that you have in your life. So maybe when I'm talking about the buffalo and the hummingbird, you're like, no way, because I see that I have a lot of stuff to work on. I don't think I can feel this happiness, feel this abundance, because they're like shadowy things within me. steals, but like I think this time around you'll be finally going through the final peel of skin because of the snake here. Because the snake talks about transmutation, like using the poison to make up medicine. So it's really about like this card says about like you the person being bitten by this several snakes several times and having like to transmute time and again the poison, the people of the totem of the snake. um so I think maybe you've been lately feeling a lot of challenges in your life, or it becomes very apparent your toxic behaviors, like your toxic patterns, and you've been trying so hard to change that. And on the bright side of the snake, it says that every poison, every challenge, every pattern that you are trying so hard to break, when you finally do it, and in the process of doing that, you don't have to be the most perfect version of yourself and get rid of everything for this to happen, but just the process of facing the venom, facing the poison, you are gaining spiritual gifts of wisdom, of power in all levels of life. It talks about like your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, all levels. So this card talks about like a really spiritual being, but like a spiritual being that's not like a enlightened being from the beginning, that has never committed a sin, or has never done anything wrong, or has never went through any addiction or any toxic relationship. No, this talks about like you going through hell, metaphorically, and then like you learning how to get yourself up to heaven. So it talks about that. It's not an easy card, but if you think everybody has like a shadow side, um a side that everybody go through challenging times, and poison and venom and bites, like it talks about through everything, like bites that you inflicting yourself because your self-sabotage behaviors or toxic behaviors that you have with yourself, and bites from snakes, outside snakes, that the environment, the people around did to you. And this card talks about transmuting all that, shading the skin finally, and going through the transformation, and really seeing that you've completed it. So it's a really nice card to have. And this card is, I forgot to tell you, it's the card of the sacred mountain in the middle. And the animal that is on the middle talks about like the animal that protects your most sacred space. Uh, so I think this is like a representation of you right now. Like everything that you went so far, if you could be described by an energy, it would be the snake card. So we can see you fighting hard to transmute all. And with the bat here, uh, it's really interesting because it's in the south position, that is the position of the child, or the position that keeps your inner faith alive, so that you can go through the challenges of life. Faith in yourself, faith in the world, in life. And you have bat, that's again like a very shadowy animal, like it goes out at night, and it can only guide himself through his like not ears, but I don't know, well, better word now, but you get it. Um, and the bat talks about uh, rebirth, and talks about really serious, I don't know, really hard task that you have to go through so that you can become then a shaman, like a spiritual leader, um, or like you can rise again, like in this much higher position. And through that, like if you take like the history of native people, like the young warriors, if they wanted to become a shaman, they had to go through really tough tests, that challenge their like body, their mental capacity, their emotional capacity, spiritual capacity, everything, so that they can be accepted as like a leader of some kind. So I see like you rising above your challenges, like really going through this period of darkness and difficulties that is making you stronger. And this little bat is protecting your inner child, your faith in yourself. So it's like this card talks about the challenging learning. This talk this card talks about how to overcome it. This card represents who you are right now, in simplistic ways, right? What I'm telling, it's like the way I interpret it. And here it talks about how do you maintain faith in yourself and faith in the world while you are facing these challenges. Because sometimes people get tired, and that's okay. So you have like the bat, and I think you even can think of Batman, uh, really like this childlike bat, like really like strong and lifting you up. Because I think now, as you've been really working hard to transmute this shadow side, these toxic patterns, I think you finally reached a level that you are kind of acquainted with your shadow, and your shadow is working with you. And because of that, I think now these like deeper parts of yourself, they will be working with you so that you can go through the darkness, through the challenge without being afraid. Because even if you can't see, like the bats, sometimes the bats can't see, they have like poor vision, I think. Um, Even if you can't see, you have other ways of like finding yourself again and again through the space, through time. That's what bats do. So even if you don't have like a clear answer right now, even if everything feels like confusion and you don't know what to do, you'll find your way somehow. And that animal bat is helping you to like find yourself no matter how dark it is. And lastly, on the north position, you have the hedgehog. And it's a really cute animal because we kind of went for really spiritual and bright little animals, and now we went to the dark animals, kind of. And now we're going to just up again because it's the north position. It's interesting because, like, the south position talks about the inner child, and the north position talks about your inner sage, or inner old person, a wise person. And it talks about like the things that you can teach to others, and how you can use what you've learned in the other positions. How can you like get all the things that you've learned with these animals, how can you best use it? And the hedgehog talks about having fun, playing, and sharing this childlike self. It's really interesting this. I have to mention it because this pile is like your inner child is being guarded by like a more shadowy, mature uh, animal. I think the bat, because it can see through the darkness, and your like wise self, your like this part of you that's older, like it represents your inner older person and wise person. It's being represented by like a more childlike energy. So we have this like uh, equilibrium. I think even the transmutation of this whatever that you're trying to transmute may be related to that, because it's like yin and yang. The poison can become the healing thing, and at the same time, like the child can be the older, and the adult can be the childlike. So it's really interesting. This card talks really about letting yourself laugh, let yourself play, connect with the things that you liked as a child. Like, what did you like to do? What did you love to do as a child? What you love to do? And to allow yourself to play, allow yourself to have fun, allow to believe again. So it's really important to not take things so seriously, because there are shadow things, there are things that we know that's not alright and that we have to work for that, and you are working for that. You can't simply ignore it and deny that it exists, because it will grow bigger and bigger and to be really troublesome than to do with it later. But at the same time, if you are just too serious all the time, if you're just like in the dark, uh, you can make the process a lot heavier than it should be. So I think this card is remember you guys that you can do shadow work, you can address your toxic patterns, but in a more like in a lighter way. And remember to have some fun and to connect with your childlike self. And I have to mention this. I know that maybe this is a really specific message for just some of you, but I think some of you will be giving birth or adopting a child, because I felt a bit of this looking at the snake, because it has like the little eggs. And I think like when you become like a mother or a father or a parent, um, maybe it can be very scary, this process of transformation, because it's kind of a rebirth, because after that your life is never going to be the same again. That is the bad energy. And sometimes like your inner child sometimes is like really afraid of, oh my god, will I become a great parent? I don't know. And you go like stressing out, really. At the same time, the cards are saying it will be a transformation, of course, but at the same time, you don't need to be afraid, because the cards are talking about abundance, like a prayer being heard, this joy that you will feel. And I think some of you guys, because of this child or this person that you are adopting, or I don't know, a new family member, maybe a new pet, I don't know, for some of you, I think you'll be really allowing yourself to play again. Maybe you've been like adults for so long. When was the last time that you've played? And this card is talking about you letting yourself be a child again, because then you will have to play with the child, and you will find yourself really enjoying it, your adult self really having fun with it. So if some of you guys are going through this process of parenthood and you're worried about that, I think this is a message that everything will be all right. You will love it, and you have so much fun, so much joy, so much love, and you'll be like excellent parents, teachers. You'll be able to bring the best out of your child. Maybe this is a matter for some of you guys, because maybe you had parents that didn't that caused a lot of trauma, that didn't have like the conditions to raise you properly, and maybe you were left with a lot of wounds, and maybe you're falling in some toxic patterns because of childhood trauma. And maybe some of you guys are thinking, oh, I didn't have the best upbringing, so if I become a parent, will I become a good one? Will I be able to raise my child beautifully? And this card is really saying, yes, you will. So don't worry about that. You are really protected and blessed. And I hope that this reading has helped you somehow. And until the next video, bye bye. Hello, group 2. Welcome to your reading. You are the Amethyst group. And now let's go to your cards. So we're doing like the wheel of healing spread. And the first card that you've got is like this skunk in the east position. And the east position talks about like your where you are headed as a soul, like what your soul does want to learn, and the challenge that you have to go through to learn this lesson. So you got this skunk, and it's really funny because this skunk is it has such a personality, and it's really funny little animal, because he's really famous for like the bad odor that it releases. And funnily enough, the keyword of this card is reputation. So I think you guys need to like pay really attention more for like your reputation. And this card talks about like the power to like attract or repel anything, anyone. And this is like the power of the skunk. It's really powerful. It's like a magnet. So it talks for you to really learn to use it wisely. And of course it talks about like body language, because it talks about like the energy that we express through our body, and talk about your self-esteem. So this card asks of you to pay attention for like which kind of people feel attracted to you. They are good people, bad people, not trying to blame you and nothing like that, but maybe there are some type like of subtle energy, or like the way that you are conducting yourself, that makes it easier for some type of people feel attracted to you. And you may even be more like aware and cautious if you, for example, are trying to look more charming for someone. They might even like fall in love with you really fast, because this skunk energy of attraction, it's really powerful. So I think those of you that want to have a relationship, it's a really good card for that. But at the same time, pay attention for like which kind of person do you want to attract, So this card talks about that and like learning to manage your energy flow. It's a really powerful energy. Um, they say for you to that like the secret of this card, like the secret to have a good reputation, um, is for you to live what you believe. Like really follow your values, and this kind of thing is really attractive because sometimes when we are trying to work on our self-esteem, we kind of focus more on sometimes maybe on a physical level. That's not wrong at all. Actually, we will talk about other cards, and it's very wise of you of this pile to focus on your body. But at the same time, sometimes people get so caught up on this physical level that they forget other ways that are sometimes much more powerful to cause an impact and to cause like to be seen or to have a good reputation, or even if you're not really interested in like gaining attention or having a good reputation. um this talks about like your authenticity, your expression, even if you're not trying to gain so much followers or recognition or attention. It talks about like every single person that you attract to you. You know, you are on the supermarket and someone starts talking to you, or you are on the bus or the subway, and some people sit near to you. So it talks about all just relationships on a higher level or on a small level. So even if you're trying just to improve like your small day-to-day relationships, this card talks about that. And even if you like ignore this card, like you say, I've never thought about like my reputation or the way people perceive me, I think you'd be denying yourself like a desire that your soul wants, because we have other animals on your reading that really talk about that. Like we have a blue butterfly, you know. So if you are walking on the middle of the forest and you see like uh, a blue thing out of nowhere, it's really attractive. It really gathers your attention and it's really beautiful. And likewise, you have the swan, that is a very gracious and elegant animal. So I think there is a part of you, even if you don't recognize it, um, that wants to be seen, you know, because of these cards here. And uh, your guides are guiding you to work on that and to think about that. So if you live your life with integrity, which means to live the things that you believe, you instantly become more attractive. You become magnetic, you know. So this is the lesson that you are learning, like how to create a good reputation and how to use your energy wisely to attract what you want and repel what you don't want. And the funny thing about this card is that when you attract something that you want, sometimes you kind of repel what you don't want because you attracted what you want. I don't know if it makes sense. It's like a magnet. You can probably you've already played with magnet when you were little, so maybe you know what I'm talking about because there are poles on the magnet. Um, so if you think about that, like if you attract the things that you like, you kind of repel the things that you don't like. Maybe that's um, something that you can work with. Like the best protection would be attracting what you like, but at the same time, this is something that maybe will make you more seen and maybe you are afraid of that, maybe of revealing your beauty. Like we have this swan card here, and maybe you feel like an ugly duckling, or maybe you're afraid of what kind of attention that you can gather. Sometimes if you are a woman, usually women are more harassed if they show their beauty, because of like the violence that women suffer. And sometimes, for example, you can kind of unconsciously hide yourself, hide your beauty, so that you won't gather attention, therefore be less likely to be a target. But I think your guys is like, you don't have to worry about that, because like your beauty will be protected. Like your beauty in all levels, in the physical level, in the intellectual level, or you're really funny and you have just many talents, like your beauty will be really seen, and you don't have to worry about that, because you are protected. You have the wolf here too, that is a fierce guardian protecting your inner child, and we can talk about that now. The south position, that is where the wolf is in your reading, talks about our inner child and how to keep the faith in ourselves and in the world as we progress through these challenges. And you have the wolf, and it talks about teacher, mastery, and intuition. These are some of the messages of the wolf. So this talks about you being guided to wise teachers, and the wise teacher can be even yourself as you connect more with your intuition. Um, and I really feel like your intuition will be guiding you, so you'll be fully protected as you connect with your intuition daily, and you'll be guarded and protected, because the wolf is a really strong guardian, so you don't have to be afraid of gathering attention, because you will really be like protected here. You have the wolf protecting you and your intuition guiding you. And funnily enough, this intuition likely will come, uh, I think, through your thoughts, through your um, mental self, because the butterfly talks about the energy of air and our mental clarity and messages that you gain by like your thought process and associations. It's like they even give an example in the book, like if you really feel attracted, for example, to wear green clothes, maybe you should eat more greens on your diet, more salads and things like that. So it talks about these like little perception moments, uh, little ideas that you will be having, that will be like pointing the way. I think it would be really gentle. When I was shuffling the cards, I really felt this butterfly card. I think it's a really important card of your reading. I felt such a wonderful energy coming. It's so beautiful. And I feel like your intuition will be like, um, when you're at the forest and you see like a glimpse of a blue in the middle of the forest, and then like you kind of want know that it's a blue butterfly, you want to see it, and then like you kind of going, and you'll be like slowly guided and beautifully and gently guided through your intuition. I think it would be maybe more subtle, but really visible, like really loud, because like um the wolf he sinks to the moon, house to the moon, so I think you clearly see something strong, like a blue thing in the middle of a green forest that is really noticeable. But at the same time, there will be like this fluttering thing, like uh, maybe you will see really strong, and then like it will flutter, and maybe you don't need to know everything right now, like you'll be gently guided, and then like you follow the butterfly for a while, and then like all of a sudden, like these little glimpses that you were having, then finally she'll come in, whoa, the butterfly is really in front of me, and I can see it clearly, and now it is in my hands, it stopped in my hands. So I feel it's like it will be kind of like that on your reading, and I think you really be transforming, because that is the what butterflies does, they transform. And this card talks about like all the process that the butterfly had to go through, like an egg and a larvae, and then all the different stages that the butterfly can go, so then she can become the butterfly. And I think you guys, you are becoming the butterfly. I think you've already done the work, or even if you are doing the work, I think uh, this year you will see clearly like the results of your work, and it will be very apparent to the world because of all these cards that talks about like attention. And we have like this one in reverse. This one on your reading, it's like in the position of the sacred mountain, that talks about like the animal that protects your inner self. And kind of in the way that I see the cards, it's like who you are this year, like who you are right now after everything that you've done, like the last year, the last few months, don't know. Who are you right now? And you are being depicted as like the swan in reverse. And when the cards are in reverse in this like deck of cards, it talks about like something that's blocking the energy of the animal to fully express in the best way. And like with the swan in reverse, because the swan has a lot to do with the feminine side, the intuition side. The keyword is like surrender. And when it's in the reverse position, it can talk about like too much contact with the spiritual side, but not so much maybe with the earthly side. Or like when you are living too much on your head or imagination, and you are ignoring really earthly stuff like your body. So the way to connect back, like to make the swan back to the like right position, it would be to focus on things that make you feel earthness. I don't know. To feel the earth, like walk barefoot, um, take care of your body, do exercise, do very logical stuff to come back to your rational mind, because maybe you've been living too much in your imagination, in your head, and you are ignoring important stuff like in the 3D life. So it's not like so much of I don't know, difficult thing to do. Maybe some of you guys have like spiritual gifts, and you are like learning to how to connect with these gifts, and or maybe you're just really uh in your head, in your imagination, in your fantasies, I don't know, in you're ignoring the world. So the way to unblock this energy is to do things to connect with the earth. And and then you will be able to express like this beautiful intuitive side, this beautiful like spiritual gifts, this beautiful surrender and faith, like you feel guided like the ugly duckling legend, like that you know that everything will go well in the end because you are the swan, you are very beautiful and people will love you. So you don't need to hide anymore. You can show yourself as you are. So I think this is really important. Look how beautiful. Finally. It's like, I think people will be like, finally! Oh my god, like, why didn't I know of this person sooner, you know? It will be really guided, really beautiful. You'll be transforming a very beautiful way. You'll be having these glimpses of magic, of guidance through your way. Trust your intuition. And now we go to your last card, that is the North card, that talks about the scroll. And the scroll is, I think, the keyword. Uh, I don't know how to say that in English, but like the concept of this card is like together what is important and discard what is not. With in some ways, remember me of this card, like attract what you want, repel what you don't. uh, and maybe if you are really overwhelmed, like with this thing of body energy or how to control better your energy, I think like cleaning up your house, because that's a very earthly thing to do. I don't think the angels and the guides have to clean their spiritual houses, you know. Maybe they know magic and they can do that like with tack, you know. And but we humans, we have to clean your houses, clean your space, and that's a very earthly thing to do. So if you are worried about how to attract or how to repel and you're feeling overwhelmed by it, start by cleaning your home, cleaning up your space, up your bags, your pouches, I don't know, cleaning up your, I don't know, every wardrobe, I don't know. You can really use that, and this will really help you. I think Feng Shui, it's really interesting because, I don't know, for example, I know like in the Feng Shui, they treat like your wallet, the place where you put money, very wisely. For example, they don't put like things that has association with money leaking. Like when you buy something, you have the receipt. You don't put on the wallet because the wallet, you want to be a magnet for abundance. So you put like things like a four-leaf clover, Ganesha, or I don't know, something um, that reminds of gold, or golden color, because it reminds of gold, reminds of wealth and abundance. So you put things that remembers money. You don't put the receipt inside the wallet because that's money living and leaking energy. So you can take this concept of this conch and really apply it in all your life, and it can be really powerful. And you will have like really, I think this group will have really um powerful changes from as you learn how to better control your energy. At the same time, the square is really important because it talks not only on a physical level to know what to maintain, what to keep, and what to throw away. It talks about like an emotional level, a mental level. For example, keeping something that happened to you, something good, you know, in your memory. And like when you are going through a challenge, you remember of that good scene, of the good thing that happened to you, the good person, or even like a good like character in a novel, a book that you read and that is really inspires you. And when you are facing difficulties, you kind of keep that image, keep that energy, keep the the thing, and then you bring it up again and you use it when you need it. So it talks about many things. So I think this is all for your reading. I hope that you like it. And until later, bye bye. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose the bronzite, this is your reading. And we are doing like the sequence, the spread of like the healing wheel. So it has this circular shape. And the first card of you guys is the dragonfly in reverse in the east position. The east position talks about like the challenges that your soul will face, the learning process, like where your soul wants to grow to. Where do you want to grow right now? So it's a card that talks about growth, like you'll be mastering this lesson whenever you're reading this. And the dragonfly is a card about illusion and magic. You received it in the reverse position, and this talks about a block in the energy. And sometimes this talks about like you deceiving yourself, or deceiving yourself to see the truth in a situation. And so this card, the dragonfly, is the illusion breaker, and a card that can connect you with your own magic. It's really interesting, the story of this card. Like on the book it says like the dragonfly usually the original form of the dragonfly was a dragon, but then it was tricked and became like a dragonfly. Sorry. And sometimes is a card that talks about like when you're trying so much to fit in, you can kind of forget what is important for you, or change yourself in a way that make you lose all your power. So this card talks about that, and we'll be talking about that later. So this card talks really like to see things clearly, to cut out illusion, and to connect back with your authentic self, not trying to please others. As in, change yourself to please others, because automatically you lose your power if you do that. And now it's the time for you to be really careful of who you allowing in your inner circle, the close relationships, close friends, even family. Right now it's a time where you need to be really careful of who you allowing, because you have the armadillo here as the central card, and this card represents like the sacred animal that protects your sacred space, your inner space. And I see this as like a representation of who you are right now. So I think you are in this process of learning how to establish limits with other people. And maybe deep down, you know that there are some people that you should draw stronger boundaries or even cut off your life. But you are refusing to do so because you don't want to see the truth. And that will be very dangerous for you. Like, it can be cause you really harm if you ignore this. This card, the armadillo card, talks about like an exercise that you can do like to protect yourself. You can draw like a circle on a paper, and then you can like put words on the circle of things that you want to experience. So maybe love, abundance, a trip to Disneyland. Um, I don't know, more spiritual wisdom. You can put anything that you want. Like, what would you like to experience in your life? You can be really detailed if you want and put as many words as you want. I want to have good friends. I want to go to my friends and have like travel with my friends. You can really put everything that represents you in this like circle, because what you want for yourself is like a reflection of who you are, your inner self, and what you desire in for other people too. This, of course, in a deeper level. So this like circle that you draw and the words that you choose to put in that represents what you want to experience in your life represents who you are and what you desire for other people in an unconscious level. So if you want like to travel with your friends, you wish that other people could also travel with your friends. If you wish good health, you wish other people would have good health. And like in the other part of the paper, because you do a circle, and there will be like a space that is left, you can put things that you can experience sometimes, not frequently. For example, people asking for my help if, to help them with money, or like um boring relative visiting me, visiting my house. So you can put like the things that you can sometimes do, but not often. Because sometimes with this card, it talks about having no limits. Sometimes you are so giving, and I see you because that you have this characteristic because of other cards, but sometimes you can be so giving that that people can take advantage of you and kind of explore you in some sense. So right now, your guides are truly advising you to cut through the illusion. Be really wise of who you allow in your inner circle, who you allow to express your energy to, and know to draw some boundaries, because this is really important for this pile right now. And you can do this exercise of the armadillos, so you can work on that. And maybe you could go to therapy, really, because having sometimes a third point of view, it's really important for us to see things clearly. Because if something is like fogging our illusion, our vision, if you can't see clearly, sometimes it's nice to have a third point of view, so that we can really see through the bullshit and really take the right measures for protecting ourselves. And the armadillo is like the ultimate protection. It's really strong protection. It's such a strong protection that talks about not even a tiny little bit of bad energy entering you. It's like it can't, because it's so strong. And I think sometimes we can, it's really difficult to set boundaries, because like when something that we consider it was bad, or that we felt bad after happens, sometimes we can't really say that to the person right away. Because if you don't have like clear boundaries, if you don't like take a time, stop, and really think about like what you want for your life, what are your principles, what you tolerate, what you don't. If you don't have like this previous like limitation of yourself, it's really, or even a strong self to position yourself, you won't be able to say no, or to say stop, or really you hurt me, I wish you do not do that anymore, or that's my limit. Like, I really like you, I really want to help you, I've helped you so far, but right now this is my limit. And I think maybe despite you feel really bad doing that, and everything has a limit. And limits define who we are, because if everybody were like uh maybe higher beings, if you will go back to source your energy, if we are talking about more in spiritual terms, uh everybody would be the water on the ocean, and we know that we are the ocean, and that one drop of water has the entire ocean within. We know that we are higher beings, we know that we are connected with the divine. But at the same time, if you are in this earth, if you are having this human experience, you have to have a personality, you have to have a body, you have to have limits. Therefore, even though I see that you are really gentle and caring people who help people, it's really important for this group to draw stronger boundaries, and to define those limits so that you can speak up for yourself when something crosses your line. And we have like the crow on the west position, and the crow talks about magic. It's a really impressive creature. They say that the crow is like the messenger that carries the energy of like magic eraser to other people, to other regions. So you could use that, for example, to send healing energies to a really remote place where there was an earthquake, for example. So uh, it talks about the messenger that carries the energy, and talks about magic. And I think it's really important for you guys, because both these animals, they talk about magic. So you're really in a magical time. Um, and things can happen, miracles can happen. You can be from a dragonfly become a dragon, for example. This transmutation of the matter, because the dragonfly talks about this. Usually animals or things that talks about illusion, they talk about like the form, because if you take like the Hinduism, the form is an illusion, like everything is Maya illusion, and the 3D reality that seems really rock solid is not as much as we think, and miracles can happen anytime because of that. So I think you are really in a strong position right now, a really magical position, but you have to see through the illusions, be really honest with yourself. Uh, and there is a message here. I don't know if it's for everybody, because like the crow sometimes talk about like magic used in a way that's not so nice. Magic used to do harm. Maybe some people of this group may be receiving influences of this harmful magic, or even people who are so focused, thinking of you in a bad way that may be affecting your energy. So I think maybe some spiritual protection, energetic protection would be nice for this group. Like the exercise of the armadillo is a good one. Like if you do meditations or chanting mantras and things like that, maybe would be helpful for some of you. There is mantra called Om Asatoma Satgamaya that it's really good for seeing the truth. You can maybe hear that mantra, play that mantra, that could help you. Uh, and I see like with the crow, it's really like you see its beak, its mouth is open, and it's like rah rah, like wake up, wake up, wake up, see the truth, see the truth. Use your power wisely. Don't use it for uh destructing others or like revenge. Like you don't need to destruct others to protect yourself. I think it's the message here. Like there are other ways of protection. You don't need to go like out, because when we are attacking other people, because sometimes we are suffering so much and it's really hard to see, we deny the situation so much, but then we finally see, we gain back our power, but sometimes we use that power in this aggressive way or just like disruptive way. Because I think this pile is really important for you to be really clear and act fast, and really draw and cut people off, really situations off, anything that is hurting you, that's not contributing for your well-being. I think you need to have this like strong posture and take this stance and protect your limits. But at the same time, you don't need to do that like hurting others. Like you can be firm, you can even cut people, but not hurting them, or like desire the bad of them. Like I wish they went through the same thing of me, through the same pain, and and because this like make you go away of yourself, because you guys, you have these two cards that I will talk about. Like the dolphin is about this like vital energy, just fun energy, just happiness. And the turkey talks about being altruistic, like really donating everything of yourself to help people. So I see that you guys are such a sweet pie, or you have such a sweet side of you that really loves people and really cares about people and wants to spread joy and wants to, you know, donate everything and help the most that you can. Uh, but you don't have like to resort to like destructive magic, like a magic that is invasive of other people or beings, to protect yourself, because I think this would even hurt this sweet side of yours. Um, so I think you have other ways to protect yourself, ways that honor this sweet side of you. And if you think when you attack someone, you are spending your energy with someone that sometimes it's not even worth that effort, worth that energy. And you are like dividing yourself because you're focusing on something outside, when sometimes the best protection is like the armadillo says, like, what would you like to experience? Who are you on like a deeper level? Because when you focus on yourself, when you focus on the things that are really important to you, you don't divide your energy in meaningless things, You are coming back to your heart, you're coming back to yourself. And this is the greatest, like, I don't know how you call that, but like your greatest like oh my god, I really escaped the word, but like it's really what guards you, what protects you, is what you love doing, is what you would love experience. This is the greatest protection. You will not divide yourself, you will concentrate your energy, and you'll be really strong, unshakable. And that's what I see. And like we have this, and this card talks about like the guardian that's guarding your limits. So it's really interesting that you have like a guardian of limits guarding your limits. It's like doubled. um Now we have the self position that talks about your inner child, like how to maintain your faith through the challenges. Because we see here with the crow, I forgot to mention that it's the west position, that talks about like how to overcome the challenges of the dragonfly. So you will like overcome the matters of illusion with magic. It's really funny, this combination. So it talks about like magic existing all around you, miracles are happening, and you don't try to rationalize or try to explain it in a rational way because you can't. So I think you guys are really connecting with the magic of life, with like elementals and really good stuff, so that you can see through the illusions. And like the dolphin will be the one that is keeping your faith alive, because our inner child is the one that makes us believe in life, believe in ourselves. And the dolphin card talks about like the vital energy. So I think you'll be vitalized if as you kind of cut the illusions, cut the people, the situations, the habits that don't serve you anymore, then you will gain a lot of more vital energy. And you can do that also through the respite, for your like breath, breath work on yoga, um, pranayama. You can work with that if you want, because connecting with your breath is really important to calm our mind, to connect you with other creatures, and even like magical creatures for some of you, if you like magic. And you'll be able like to access other dimensions, because they say that the dolphin is like the messenger between like humanity and like the other dimensions. So he goes through like the dream dimension and comes back with messages and energies and healings. Um, Maybe some of you could work with dolphin magic. I don't know, but definitely uh, take special attention to your breath and connecting with your breath. It's really important, and spreading your joy. Doing fun things, because the dolphins, there are several stories that they like protect the human beings from sharks. The dolphin has this bright side, but at the same time, he it can draw some boundaries when it's needed. Maybe you are afraid that if you draw some boundaries, you will lose friends, you will not be loved, and that's not the case. Sometimes even the dolphins, they have to show more their like limits and defend the humans, of the sharks. So why could you not do that with people that are preying on your energy and not giving anything back, right? And through that, we now go to the last card, the north position. That is the turkey. That, as I said, it talks about donation, about altruism. It's like they say that is a card that many mystical people get because of this sense of like giving their everything to help humanity, helping animals, helping the planet. They really have like no sense of self, because they know that like everybody is one, so they can really do many sacrifices and do really good to many people and many beings by that. But as I said, your cards are alerting for to illusions and to protect your energy. So I don't think this like beautiful side of yours to take care of people, to help people, to donate, to be altruistic is bad. But I think it should be used wisely. Like who do you want to like use your time, your energy? There are many sacrifices in this world that are required. There are many good people who do a lot of good things. Donation of time, money, energy, presence. But at the same time, there is a message here for you to not do that to anyone. To protect yourself too. Because if you don't protect your ego, because like I said, the turkey is almost as if it doesn't have an ego. But for humans, an ego is like really vital to protect and defend yourselves. So I think this is your reading. I hope that you like it. I apologize for my English. Um, I was a little bit excited, and this is my first time recording, so it's been really fun. But I hope that you like it, and bye bye.